Okay, guys, so it's come to my attention that some of you are not taking advantage of the most important thing that we're going to need going forward in the 40 days, which is your journal. The journal is asking you your behaviors. It's right here. I'll show you guys how to monitor this. But when you first set up your system, it should have been one of the first things it asks you to do. It asks you a bunch of yes or no questions. And I encourage you as you go along and as we talk about these topics, for you to add in some of these behaviors. So you can always modify this. But if you click right there, by the way, this is me today, right? So if you click right here, you'll notice that this pops up. So if you haven't done it yet, no big deal. But if you already did it, that's what you would click to edit these behaviors. If you didn't yet, it'll look like this. You see that thing right there? That's what you would click. And if you click that right there, this is what pops up. It's going to ask you a whole bunch of yes or no questions that look like this. So notice that these behaviors look a whole bunch like things we've discussed for 20 years at Fit for Life. It's going to ask you yes or no about a whole bunch of things in terms of sleep, in terms of recovery, in terms of performance, in terms of emotions, like even asking you things like, like we talked about in the bedroom, did you use a humidifier? Did you hydrate sufficiently? Did you take an ice bath or ice shower? Even like basic things. Did you eat a late meal? Are you injured or not? I'm going to talk a little bit more specifically about each of these things and their importance, even though obviously many of these I've already spoken about. Did you meditate? Did you take a melatonin supplement? Did you use a nasal strip? Soon you're going to see, did you mouth tape on here? These are all things that you'll see as you scroll down. And, red light therapy, sauna, sensory deprivation would be a float tank. Did you engage in sexual activity? Did you share a bed? Did you sleep in your own bed? Okay, you'll get the idea. Now, what is the point? The point of all of this, guys, is to remember that what you measure is what improves. What you measure, what you track is what improves. Once you have everything each morning, this is what shows up. You just click yes or no. You did or you didn't. And the more you do this over 40 days, the more you realize why you suck or why you're good, right? You start to realize I either did or didn't do exactly what Tom's been telling me to do for 20 years, right? You either do it or you don't. But what I do want you to recognize is this right here. That's why we need to have actual tangible things to look at. HRV. HRV. Now, I have an email with Mike T. Nelson, Dr. Mike T. Nelson, PhD, who I told you guys, his specialty is in HRV. I'm going to be interviewing him for a half an hour later on in this 40-day challenge. And I assure you that he will confirm all of the things that I've been talking about and will be talking about, because Mike's PhD revolved mostly around studying aspects of HRV. And you will not believe some of the things that he will talk about. But I'm giving you guys a glimpse here that if we want that to improve, so my HRV right now is 65. When you go here, which is what I showed yesterday, many of you couldn't see this, so let me blow it up for you. So this is age, and this is HRV. So this is the middle 50% of HRV values by age. So as you get older, HRV goes down. If you're unfamiliar with HRV, because you haven't watched the first several videos, heart rate variability is the thing that is what it stands for. It is the most predictable thing in terms of performance, in terms of if something's going on in your body, whether that be injury, alcohol, you're not recovered from the previous workout, inflammation, whatever. You didn't sleep enough. So if you're 20 years old, you can see there's a heck of a lot of range here. But notice as you get older, it gets narrow and narrow. Most of us are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s. So a 40-year-old, on the low end, the average is about 38. On the high end, it's about 63. So again, if you're 40, between 38, high end 63. That's the middle 50%. 45 is between about 34 and 56, 57. 50 years old, about 30 to about 55. So 55 years old, again, is also about 30, again, to about 50-ish. 60, about 26 to 28 to about 49. And 65 would be also around 29 to about 50. All right, you get the idea that that's the middle. We don't want to be average, guys. We want to be above average. So for me, as a 45-year-old, I want to constantly be over 56, and I have been, and that's my goal for you guys. So how do we get there? We get there by following the behaviors I just showed you guys and attending to what we're going over in this 40-day challenge meticulously. But if you don't have this journal set up, that's going to be mostly what we're talking about. My first several days, I was trying to talk to you guys about these algorithms and calories and why they're so inaccurate. What you should pay attention to is HRV, respiratory rate, et cetera, et cetera. And as we go along, we're going to delve into these topics. All right? Hopefully that clarified some things for you guys. Have a great day.